how to actually reinvent yourself in 2025. We have a couple of months left, and in these months, when you make the right decisions, your life could look entirely different in 2025. There is a lot of personal development content just like this on the internet, but this video is not going to be about you becoming someone that you are not. This is about finding back to yourself and who you were always meant to be. The first step to reinventing yourself is to reflect on your current self. This means understanding that the life that you're living today, the version of you that you are today, was created by your past, was created by the past version of yourself. This is not to beat yourself up for who you were and you wish you wouldn't have been this past version of yourself. This is about you recognizing that you are the creator of your life. Whatever you desire is created through you. That also means that right now, the results that you have in your life, the life that you're living, has once been created by the past version of yourself. This is a super empowering thought to have, because this also means that the things that you do and change today will create your future self, will help you reinvent yourself and help you become the best version of yourself. And this is where you also take accountability for the life that you desire to live, but also you take accountability for the things that you have created that maybe you don't like so much in your life right now. Again, this is not about beating yourself up, but becoming really aware of the life that you're currently living. In order for you to reinvent yourself, you have to become really aware and take inventory on the life that you currently live, but also on the current version of yourself. This is where I invite you to ask yourself, where in my life do I things just because I do them, but they're no longer serving me in my life? Another way to ask yourself is, where in my life do I run on autopilot? Where in my life am I doing things because I've done them, but they actually don't get me anywhere? The example could be of you looking at your phone first thing in the morning. This is a habit that you have created probably over a couple of years. As an example, as you reflect on this habit, you have to ask yourself, well, if I continue with this habit, is it really serving me? Is this really helping me grow? Is this really helping me have the mindset I need to become the best version of myself? As you are reflecting on the current version of yourself, this is where you also have to become very honest with yourself and ask yourself, well, what are the parts right now in my life that are no longer serving me? Drill it down to 3 things that you feel like you are ready to let go of. This is not about you changing a million things. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They're asking themselves, well, what do I need to change? This is not about what you need to change, but about realizing that there are parts of yourself that no longer will belong into the new version of yourself. This is where a lot of people get it wrong, because they're focused so much on the habit, but not on the person that they want to be, which leads me to my second point. This is where you upgrade yourself. In other words, we can also call this an identity upgrade. The things that you are doing today, you are doing because of the person that you think you are. So in order for you to reinvent yourself, this is where you have to also allow yourself to start upgrading yourself and start raising your standards. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to raise the standards in your life based on the things that you're doing, the people that you're talking to, the things that you're consuming. You have to really take it up a notch. But this is also where you start to believe that you deserve better. This is where you become very honest with yourself and you ask yourself, well, I want a better life. I want to reinvent myself. I deserve to live a better life. I deserve to have all the things that I want. Once you have that very clear, this is not, as I was saying in the beginning, about becoming someone you're not. This is about realizing that all that you've ever wanted to be is already within you, and you're allowing all these parts to finally come to the surface. This is where you allow yourself to fully shine in the wholeness and in the authenticity that you already have within, that you already are. Next, this is where you create your ideal future or your ideal future self. This is where you ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? How do I want it to look like? How will I spend my day? What people am I talking to? What am I doing for work? How am I feeling? This is the most important thing. A lot of people focus too much on the what and don't ask themselves how they want to feel. As you are connecting with that future that you want to create, you also want to ask yourself, well, how do I actually want to feel? Do I want to feel free? Do I I want to feel happy? Do I want to feel successful? Do I want to feel joyful? Do I want to feel like I'm on top of the world? Whatever that might be for you, you got to connect with that feeling, that very emotion. We as human beings, we are emotional beings. And when we try to create only from our minds, we are missing the connection to our emotion. And if you think about this, emotion is the very reason why we're changing, why we want change, why we're desiring all those things. It's the emotion that leads us to buying things, to creating things like writing songs or buying certain items that make you happier. Emotion is really the foundation of who you are. Not only when you're creating your future vision, you don't only want to just look at the physical things, but also on your emotional being. The beauty about this is once you already know how you want to feel, you can learn how to tune into that emotion today, and you can start feeling her today. Because what this does is when you're tuning into the emotion of how it would feel like to create your ideal self, of your future version of yourself, as you start to already feel this emotion today, you will start to show up differently in your life automatically. And then the habits that you want to change will be followed by those emotions that you're feeling. This is also where you ask yourself, when I'm creating my future version of myself, what are some of the things I am already doing in my life that are helping me get closer to this part of myself? And what are some of the things that I'm doing that are not helping me get closer to this part of myself? And then what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what is something that I'm already doing? Let's say that you are already meditating, you're already visualizing your future self. You want to upgrade that. So when you're visualizing your future self, are you truly present? Are you truly putting your entire body into it and you're truly like feeling her? Or are you in it one way in, one way out? You're checking your phone as you're visualizing. You're doing things on the go rather than truly being dedicated to what you're already doing. What this is gonna do, it's gonna really help you start to see that some of the parts that you're already doing are helping you get closer to your future self. So it's not necessarily about changing a million things. It's about realizing the things that you're already doing are getting you closer and making them even better. Same thing with, for example, making a breakfast in the morning. Let's say your reinvention of your future self is you becoming the healthiest version of yourself. So as you are making your breakfast, ask yourself, can I make this even healthier? Can I make this even more balanced? Whatever step you can take to upgrade the thing that you're already doing will already help you get closer, because a lot of times we're trying to change things and add things to our life that make us feel overwhelmed. But by you already slightly upgrading what you are already doing, it will help you feel more confident in yourself and will help you see that you can already do this. It's a lot easier than trying to change a million things at the same time. One perfect way to start shifting your identity is to look at someone that you currently admire who is already that person that you want to be. This is not for comparison reasons. This is just for you to be able to have a mirror of the type of person that you can become. When you look, for example, at someone who already lives the life that you want to, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, well, what is it that they're doing in their everyday life? And you want to write this down in the third person. So you want to write down, she is waking up every morning at 6 a.m. to work out. She is having a balanced breakfast in the morning. She goes to work and connects with people that are inspiring her. She reads these types of books. She does this. So you want to write down around, I want to say 10 sentences of the things that this person would already be doing. And if you don't have an example person that you can take, you can just take your future self, but write it in the third person. This exercise you want to do for a couple of days until you feel like, now I can start writing this about myself. And then you change it into I am. So from she, you go into I am and you start writing that as if you already are the version of yourself that is doing that. What this is doing, it's helping you really reprogram your mind, which is the key to reinventing yourself. This is not about just changing your habits and hoping for your life to change. You got to reprogram your mind to start believing that you you already are this version of yourself. And by you writing this as it is you doing those things, you are helping yourself reprogram your mind. The next step for you is to release anything that no longer belongs. I personally work a lot with energy and the whole body, right? I don't only work with the mind, because the mind is only a small part of who we truly are as human beings. When we work with our body, we have to also understand that all experiences that we've ever had, if good or bad, they leave energetic imprints on our body. And some of these energetic imprints lead to beliefs that you have about the world and about yourself. Now, some of these beliefs can become limiting beliefs. As an example, maybe last year you took on an opportunity and it didn't go as you wanted it to go, and you felt like you failed, and that made you believe that you are not good enough for this opportunity. Today, you're still holding that limiting belief in your life, and if you want to reinvent yourself, but that limiting belief is there, you're going to be really having a hard time reinventing yourself unless you let that limiting belief go. So the way to do that is to allow yourself to work with your body and release that energy out of your body. One way to do that is through embodiment. You will see this right here. There's a short clip of me allowing myself to release any energetic imprint on my body and allow myself to really rewrite this limiting belief. So what you can do is identify the limiting belief that you're having from maybe any past experiences that you've had, and really ask yourself, well, what have I started believing about myself from that experience, and how would you like the belief to be instead? And then allow yourself to also let that go on an energetic, on a physical level, not only on a mind level. There are a lot of other tools that you can use, like EFT tapping, somatic exercises, things like that, to really help you release anything that no longer belongs and that you no longer want to take into this new version of yourself. Now, next, this is what no one really talks about. Personal development is not easy. Reinventing yourself is not easy. It's easy to be in the fluff and the idea of it. It's easy to watch a video, write down all of the notes, be inspired, but not take the action. What no one talks about is that it's not a shiny, beautiful word. Taking the action is the hardest part about this. It's the consistency, it's the repetition, it's being okay with doing the same thing over and over again and not seeing the results yet. It's being okay with really working hard on yourself and feeling like you're falling 10 steps backwards, because this is what oftentimes happens, but is not talked about that much. Personal development is not something where we see immediate results. It can happen that you are experiencing a huge shift within yourself for sure, but it's not as easy as weight loss even. I truly believe weight loss is easier than personal development, because weight loss is calories in, calories out, working out, and when you're healthy, you will lose weight. But personal development is really you living the experience of life, and whatever you are learning about yourself and transforming, you then have to apply to life. And life is not as easy as calories in, calories out. There are things that are happening. There are things that will be challenging you. And so my biggest want for you is to not give up on yourself, because personal development, even if you're not seeing the changes right away, you are changing on the back end. You are changing on a deeper level that you might not see every day, but when you look at it in the long run, you will see the change. This is where I highly recommend to you stay at it. Be consistent. Don't look for a million solutions, but stick to one solution and do it over and over again. This is what most people get wrong too. They're trying to find the next video, the next book, the next podcast, the next something. Find one thing and do this over and over again. What I'm saying here in this video, instead of trying to look for the next video, do whatever has been said here. This is gonna get you so much further if you do this every day than trying to find another million things that you can do instead. And lastly, this is where you really have to build that trust within yourself that you can change. This is where you have to allow yourself to believe in yourself, to go further than where you are right now. This is where you also have to be okay with where you're at right now and your past. This doesn't define you. You have to allow yourself to see beyond what you see right now in your life, but also be patient with yourself, be loving with yourself, be kind with yourself. This journey, even though it's hard, it is super rewarding, super rewarding, and it will change everything for you when you allow yourself to show up as the best version of yourself every day. And even if some of those days feel hard and heavy, you are still alive, you're still doing the work, and it's okay if things feel overwhelming, but when you show up for yourself, this is the best gift you can give to you. Because think about it, we're not talking about something that's not important. We're talking about your life. We're talking about something that when you take this seriously, everything could change in your life. So this is really my invitation to you to take this seriously. Now, what you will also find, I have a couple of journal prompts for you in the show notes that you can also use for you to ask yourself certain things about the topics that we discussed here. I really hope this is helpful for you. You got this. I believe in you. Take this seriously. The next 2 months and the next year are yours. Claim them. And if you do like this video, please let me know as well. It would mean the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. Sending you so much love.